Guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. So today we're going to talk about kind of one of those core teams that you can build around. 3 champions who are fairly accessible that I think a lot of you guys will really enjoy kind of the cohesiveness on a team like this to help you with progression, and you're going to need it for Doom Tower. I see a lot of people out there in the community, or maybe like a split 50-50, especially day 1 and 2 of Doom Tower, kind of saying, this is easy, man. Trust me, it's going to get very, very difficult as you scale, as every day progresses. It's easy in the beginning for some people. Hard is pretty difficult as it scales pretty quickly. But either way, between faction wars, between level 20 dungeons, eventually getting there, and then going into Doom Tower, you're going to need to think outside the box if you don't have every legendary champion in the game. And you guys have been watching for a while here on the channel, know that we're kind of moving in that direction slowly but surely. I have a couple good series ideas coming to you guys as well, beyond just kind of these I don't know, these foundational teams that have like great cohesion together that can help you guys out, like we're talking about today in the Stunlock team. But also I want to focus on rare and kind of maybe more accessible. Like we'll have like Scyl the Drakes and kind of login reward champions sprinkled in, but champions that are accessible for Doom Tower hard mode. So expect to see some all rare content for hard mode Doom Tower as we progress here throughout the weeks on the coming up on the channel. So anyway, guys, the team that we're going to be talking about today is, well, let me just go ahead and show you in Doom Tower right now. So be right back. So floor 15 is the highest floor that I have unlocked right now. Granted, the time of this recording, that's all I have. But this is the team essentially, and the core components of this team that I really want to focus on today's video. And I'm going to show you them in every level 20 dungeon for you guys, and kind of building a team around these 3 champions. And it is Scyl of the Drakes with her A2 stun in a stun set. I'm going to show you all the masteries, all the gear on all these champions as well. We have Bellower as the second component to this team. And then we have a common champion who I did a guide on a few days ago in Sister Militant. She has an AoE attack and that's all she has. So we have her in Fearsome Presence, tier 6 mastery on the defensive tree. Again, I'll show you guys in a second. And we have her in a stun set, so she has a 23% chance of landing a stun. That is not based on accuracy. Of course, stun sets, you don't need to build accuracy for landing. So that's going to happen every single time. So, guys, let's go ahead and show you floor 15 here. And again, I'm going to show you level 20 Spider, level 20 Fire Knight, level 20 Dragon, and level 20 Ice Golem, using these 3 champions on the same team. So starting out here, we have Apothecary and Kale in the lead. And you can see already here, guys, every single one of the enemies is stunned here. It's going to give us time to spot heal, get Kale back up, and really progress here beyond what this team could normally do. You don't really see a lot of, rare and common teams mixed in with one legendary, granted, Scyl of the Drakes, progressing this far. And maybe, I don't know if, it's too early in Doom Tower to say, oh, how impressive is this? Maybe it's not impressive, I don't know. But we will go ahead and show you again in all the level 20 dungeons. And that's what I like about this team. You can invest in these 3 champions and you can use them everywhere. And the versatility, except for faction wars, of course, together. But the versatility of that, I think it's going to help a lot of you guys out. So again here, the whole premise here is that, we're not building these champions to be super OP nukers. They're not built to be really that hardy either. They're not incredibly, even, especially Sister Militant. She's a glass cannon. She has like 1,000 defense, something ridiculous like that. But the whole premise here is that you can't die if the enemies don't take a turn. So 3 stun champions, you can see, the enemies are all stunned up. A rare non-stun, but we're really not taking many hits at all here. And you'll notice on this team, I'm using Bellower as my decreased defense champion. That's going to get us a little bit slower. Look at this. 4 out of 5 are stunned. Can we land that last stun? Sister? Come on, sister. Land. But you guys, it's beautiful because if, what was I saying? I have no idea. I don't know. Oh, well, they don't take a turn. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how weak your team is. We do lose Sister Militant, but that's the beauty of having Scyl on the team as well. You pick her right back up, and you're looking good. Now, this is going to be an extremely helpful strategy for you guys on Doom Tower, because as you get, there's no bosses, obviously every 5 levels that there are, but, on these rooms in between, if you're stuck on any level, consider a team like this, right? Again, they can't go. I was talking about Bellower. So Bellower is my debuffer, right? I have him built out. I'm actually going to show you real quickly how I have these guys built out. and then we'll move on to all the other dungeons. So Bellower on this team is, again, he's my debuffer, man. Decrease speed, block cooldown skills. He's got it all. Decrease attack and decrease defense as well. I'll show you his artifacts and stuff as well. Block cooldown skills on an AoE on the A1, on the AoE or on the A2 and decrease speed, and on the AoE on the A3 it is a decrease attack and decrease defense. And that's all we have really for decrease attack on these teams. So again, going to be a little bit of a slower time comparatively, but it's really not all about speed here. It's about staying alive. And I will tell you that that decrease attack and decrease defense, albeit the weak version, is really going to help us out a lot. So Bellower is really key to this strategy. And Bellower, I got to redo his masteries here, guys. I don't want him in crit damage, in fearsome, or flawless execution, excuse me. I really want him probably in Helm Smasher, or War Master. But I'm gonna say probably Helm Smasher on Bellower. Now, of course, you could also go Fearsome Presence on Bellower. This gives you an extra 5% chance of landing your stun, and it does work on artifacts, as you guys can see right here. So that brings it from an 18 to a 23% chance times, you know, every single time he attacks like Sister Militant. That's the beauty of these two champions on the same team, okay? So I could redo his Masteries. I'm just going to leave him as he is for this video, and I actually have Master Hexter to extend the duration of all those debuffs that he is packing as well. Now, I only have a stun set, so again here, guys, Laura Steel, absolutely useless right now on this Bellower. So always pay attention to your masteries. Don't make the mistakes that I did in this video, right? So, but it's worth noting. Don't use Laura Steel if you don't have any basic artifact sets on your champions. So what do we have on them? We have attack percentage. We have crit damage on the gauntlets. I didn't realize I had a crit damage on this champion. We have speed on the boots. You don't have to have God gear on this champion. You can see I haven't upgraded everything on him. I have a level 12 weapon, level 12 helmet, and level 12 ring, albeit legendary artifacts. I totally recognize that. But I think at the end of the day on Bellower, you really only are mainly concerned with his accuracy. Get his accuracy up, put crit rate gauntlets on him, and then just throw him in some stun gear with sustainability. A little extra damage isn't bad, but Bellower doesn't have insane multipliers. He's really not your nuker on these teams, okay? So that's the Bellower build. And then we have, where are you, Sister Militant? Sister Militant, very easy to build. You can get her from mystery shards. She's a common champion, and you can't ascend common champions. So again, the only thing that stings on a champion like Sister Militant is, of course, ranking her from 5 to 6 and kind of using all that food. So that's a decision that you guys have to make. But at the end of the day, you don't have to waste any potions because you can't ascend her. So we can only put a ring on her. We have her built out to be a nuker. As I said, very low defense, very, very low HP, but it's okay because, again, we have A, a reviver on the team, and B, we have a bunch of stunnage. So she has crit damage on the gauntlets, and she has speed on the boots. Obviously, attack on the ring. And then on Masteries, again, Fearsome Presence, pretty mandatory on Sister Militant if you're going to go ahead and utilize her. Is it worth upgrading a common champion to have her in an all-stun set? Well, it depends on your champions. It depends on your account. Do you have a miscreated monster? Go ahead and use him instead, you know? Do you have a Senesha, I don't know, a Skull Crown combination, something like that? Basically, AoE strong attackers are great for stun sets. But Sister Militant's great because she's simple, she's easy to get, everybody can get her, and she only has one attack, and it's an AoE. That's it. So that is Sister Militant in Scyl of the Drakes. I haven't looked at her build in a while, but let's see how I have her build. I know I have her in stun. To get, you know, we talked about this quite a bit on the channel, so I'll be brief with it, but attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has an independent 35% chance of landing a stun. I have Fearsome Presence, so that takes up to a 40% chance times 2 attacks. I also have her in a stun set, so that's going to bump that up, basically getting an extra 23% chance on both of those hits. At the end of the day, we're almost always assuring, I don't know, you guys can do the probability math there, but we're around like 90% plus of landing a stun on every single enemy every 3 turns with the Fearsome Presence Mastery, with the stun set, and with the stun already on her kit. Some people say, nah, I'm not going to go with the Fearsome Presence. That's overkill. I'm not going to go with a stun set. She's already got a 40% chance on 2 times. But me, I want to ensure that stun every time, so I put her in that stun set, and I really like this build, honestly, guys. I have her in Fearsome Presence, as I mentioned, and I also have the Master Hexer and the Sniper in her kit, because she does have on her a decreased speed, which I kind of like to get landed as well. I have her with the appropriate accuracy. So that's Scyl of the Drakes. If you don't care about the decreased speed on the A1, go ahead and just totally ignore accuracy on this champion, and you can go with, maybe going with Lasting Gifts would be just a better idea anyway, because she does have the Ally Protect, and she also has the increased speed on her passive. So that's really up to you guys. Again, I think if I was going to rebuild her, I might actually just take a little trip over here at Lasting Gifts instead of going with Master Hexer. And I think that's actually something that I'll stand by right now, as after I said it out loud, that makes much more sense. So again, guys, take note. And defense, we have crit damage, which is kind of, I don't know. She doesn't put out a ton of damage, but I have crit damage on the gauntlets and I have speed on the boots. Okay, so her total stats here on Scyl is 4,200 defense, 177 speed, 74, and 214. All right, so let's go ahead and again, guys, could definitely argue that the builds could be a bit better on all of these champions. Let's go to some dungeons, and let's start with Spider. Alright guys, so here we go, Spider 20. We have Royal Guard Coulthart joined with the trio that we talked about so far on this video. Let's go ahead and see how we do on auto here. Not going to touch anything on Spider 20. So apologies for having an epic on the team. You know, this is basically, we'll have an epic also on the Fire Knight team. We'll have a lure on that team. Just kind of give you guys a heads up. And then we'll have all rares or uncommons or whatever on Dragon and Ice Golem, which I find to be the easier two out of the 4 dungeons, depending on your champions as always. So this team, we lose Sister Militant, as you guys can see. But more importantly, we're getting everybody stunned. We'll be able to pick her right back up on this next turn right there. And then she's going to go ahead and hopefully not die right now. She dies right now. We really need her to stay alive through these first 2 kind of waves of attacks, and that's the beauty of having all these stuns, because the idea here is we're going to need her to land her stuns as well, and she's actually going to die to the poison, so that's going to be unfortunate. Let's see if we can go ahead and still go ahead and get to the next revival and kill this spider with a team like this. This is a good team option for you guys who don't have a big OP shield champion like Miscreated Monster, or you don't, or Krisk or something like that. People who don't have 3 Cold Hearts and 3 Royal Guards, you know, like all these max HP champions. Sure, you still have 1 Royal Guard, you still have 1 Cold Heart, but at the end of the day, just keeping everything in control, keeping everybody stunned, it's going to help keep your team alive. And you can see, again, Sister Militant, well, she did fall. I gotta admit, not her strongest performance here out of all the dungeons that you guys are gonna see. She's essentially at least eating a couple spiderling bites for us on this team. But we will get the job done here in about 1 minute and 36 seconds. So not too shabby here from this team. And Sister Militant, poor thing, barely cracked 200,000 damage. But obviously got the job done. Got the job done. Alright guys, next up here in stage 20 of Fire Knight, this time we have a lure and we have Coulthart on the team. Again, trying to build a team that makes sense around this kind of triple stun team. So on this first wave here, Scyl the Drake actually starts out with not her stun, which I think she really should, but pay attention to the stuns here. We might lose Sister Militant again at the very beginning, but it's not a big deal, right? If we do, no worries, we'll be able to pick her right back up, and it looks like we're not even going to lose her here. Dare I speak too soon, but look at this. Everybody is stunned for the most part. You're going to see it's going to be tremendous, man. I mean, this weak team, dude, is going to be able to make it to Fire Knight just fine because everybody's stunned. They never get to go. So here we go, trying to take down Errol. Something to note of here is that we don't. Scyl the Drake's obviously is a negative affinity matchup for this dungeon. So, and we don't have a true decreased defense champion like a Stagnite on this team. So it's going to take a little bit longer here on the waves, but I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Gotta keep an eye on Errol there. He's gonna kill somebody, and he does kill our Sister Militant, but she gets picked right back up by Scyl there. So again here, just trying to land stuns, and all we need is a couple AoE attacks, and we're right back in business, and you guys can already see, what, 2, 3 champions stunned right now. Nobody's really taking a turn until Errol goes. This time he does not kill. That's good. And a lure we have built out, guys, to be basically not a huge damage dealer. She doesn't put out a ton of damage. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 stuns. Everybody's stunned. Easy. She doesn't put out a ton of damage. She's just really there for accuracy and, you know, to get to the Fire Knight, right? And keep that shield down. Now, if you don't have a lure and you want to build a team similar to this, however, I will give you guys fair warning, it's going to be more difficult because I would substitute Apothecary, right? Because you'd have a good aura lead, 21% defense. It's going to help you guys stay alive, obviously, but it's going to be more difficult to keep that shield down, albeit he does have a 3-hitter on his A1. So just kind of have to be honest with you guys, though. Again, it's going to be difficult because you don't have that A1 to decrease turn meter, as you can see from Allure. So weird to see a Fire Knight team with with 2 Magic Affinity champions on Fire Knight 20. Not used to seeing that at all. Sister Militant, if she dies here at the Fire Knight, really not the end of the world, honestly, guys, because once we get here, it's all about basically Cold Heart and Allure. For the most part, just keeping that shield down. All we need to do is get that shield down one time, and then there we go. Just count on that A1 actually landing from Allure, that decreased turn meter, and that's what I'm talking about. Apothecary is not going to be able to keep that turn meter down the entire duration of the battle like Allure can. That's the only reason she is on our team here. So things got a little bit rocky there. It's really just, I ran this squad, I ran this specific team before this video, like 4 or 5 times, and we wiped one time. We were successful the other 4 or 5. Now this will be 6. So it's not 100% win rate, but it's a strategy to help you guys out and to maybe get you thinking a little bit outside the box, right? So Fire Knight and Spider, not going to lie to you guys, again, more challenging dungeons. However, the other 2 dungeons, pretty easy with a team like this. And heck, maybe some of you guys have better options out there for instead of Sister Militant or instead of the 4 and 5 that we've been carrying so far. So again, keeping that shield down is Allure. All of these dungeon teams are going to be around the same time, 3 minute and 30 seconds to 4 minute and 30 seconds, kind of in that wheelhouse, I guess, excluding Dragon. But let's go again in order of reverse difficulty and tackle Ice Golem next, guys. And again, just getting that turn meter down is so pivotal. And you know what I thought of, guys? That new artifact set for Allure. I think it would make a lot of sense on her. The one that has a reduced chance of landing a weak hit. Allure is like the perfect candidate for an artifact set like that, right? Because that's going to make her really, it's going to really circumvent her biggest weakness in Fire Knight 20, right? If she has that less chance to land a weak hit. You know, I think it's kind of a more niche set, but I still think it's a pretty cool set on a champion like Allure in Fire Knight 20. A champion that's anti-affinity that you really want to be landing a debuff anyway. Alright guys, for Ice Golem 20, we have, again, the same trio, and we have Kale in Reliquary Tender. We have Kale as our team lead, and he's basically our main nuker on this squad. Sister Militant going to be the second biggest damage dealer on the squad, and this is where Sister Militant, who's had a hard time so far on the video, to be fair, against the more challenging dungeons, this is where she's really going to shine against these kind of easier dungeons, and again, I do think she's worth it for Doom Tower as well. So here we go. Nice and easy. All we don't want to have happen here is to waste our... we just wasted Scyl the Drake's big stun on the first wave. We really, ideally, like to have that all ready to go on the second wave for those Terror Beasts. And she's going to be 2 turns away, it looks like. So let's see if we can get through this second wave. I think we will just fine. There it goes. So it's up. Everybody's stunned. GG's, game over, right? Because as soon as those stuns start to wear off, we're going to have Bellower and Sister Militant there to start re-stunning them essentially every single time they go, while all the while Kale and a little help from Sister Militant and Bellower go ahead and work on killing everybody. So there we go. That's how you get through the second wave with ease here on a team like this. So again, Kale with the poisons really going to help out. Again, stun does work on the minions, obviously not going to work on a boss. This is where, again, Sister Militant, you can see, landed that second stun on that second minion, help prevent them from landing their debuffs. And this is going to take a little bit of a while to actually chip away at the Ice Golem's total HP. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now, guys, is cut till close to the end of Ice Golem, so you guys don't have to just watch the team chip away at him slowly but surely. Alright guys, so there it goes. Sorry it ended really quickly. Sometimes the poisons just stack up and it caught me off guard. but we just completed a victory, albeit in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. But again, here we get almost 1 million damage from both Sister Militant and from Bellower, and then we had Reliquary Tender with the heals. We had Scyl of the Drakes at 817k, and then we had Kale at 2.3 million damage. Of course, as I mentioned, Kale being our main nuker on that team, and then just the stun team and Reliquary Tender helping out with the heals. Let's go ahead and show you the easiest of the dungeons, Dragon's Lair 20, utilizing the same team. This time we have Apothecary in there. We could easily run War Maiden on this team as well. I think that would actually be a better option. So let's go ahead and just run War Maiden, because she's actually easier to get than Apothecary is. And we'll have all the heals we need just in Syl's passive on this squad. So here we go. Everybody's stunned, nice and easy. And really, you know, nice to have kind of the double defense down too. That way we can clear these waves a little bit faster, utilizing War Maiden. And War Maiden is a great secondary nuker to Kale to have on the team as well. So really, we have 4 quasi-nukers. We have Kale, and then we have Bellower, Sister Militant, and War Maiden all kind of helping us out here. So here we go on to wave number 2. And there it goes, 4 out of 5 stunned, thanks to Scyl. Can we get that last dude stunned? Yes, we can. So again, nobody ends up taking a turn at all. Exactly what we want. And before their turn meters can even refill, hopefully we'll have them either killed or restunned, right? And again, landing a couple already. And there it goes. I think really nobody got to attack on that second wave, I think. Unless I missed somebody attacking. But that's how you get to the dragon in 1 minute, really by not taking much of any damage at all. So there it goes, decreased defense against the dragon. It's just going to be a matter of time between the weak version of poisons on War Maiden and the strong version and weak versions of poison on Kale to add up and kill this dragon as well. And a pretty easy fight, all things considered, especially as I mentioned, as we scale into easier dungeons now. I guess, dare I call Dragon 20 easy? I guess comparatively, I think it is. But even with these poisons, as I mentioned, Scyl the Drakes is going to be able to keep everybody alive long enough to actually kill the dragon. Now, if you're struggling with this run, if you can't complete it using a team like this, if your team is dying, right, then obviously just go ahead and swap Apothecary back in for War Maiden. It will take you, instead of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it's going to take you a little bit longer, but still at the end of the day, it's going to be a successful run. So there we go. Stuns go down from the dragon. It's okay. Oh, Reliquary Tender as well, if you have her, really does well in Dragon 20. And again, we lose Sister Militant just appropriately, allowing her to die one last time on the video, as if the other 100 deaths weren't enough. But we get the job done here. And again, 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so, not too bad, right? And this is how you can build a team. And really, you know, if you have struggles in any dungeon with a team like this, just make a substitution where it's smart for you given your account, right? You might have a better option, as I mentioned, than Sister Militant on the team. You might have a better option than a lot of these champions. Go ahead and just make those kind of common sense substitutions where it will help you. Sister Militant this time with 612,000 damage, Bellower with almost 400k, War Maiden with 850, Scyl the Drakes with 375, and Kale with 1.7 mil. So there you go, guys. Let me know if you like content like this on the channel. I have a couple extra kind of fun teams to show you guys as well, kind of in the same vein, utilizing multiple champions in a specific artifact set. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.